Hello, race fans. Welcome to the NASDAQ 360 network coverage of the Sim Racer Hub 100 at Martinsville Speedway. Alongside me is my broadcasting partner, Daniel. Daniel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
I'm doing really good. Now, last week we saw a new winner emerge at North Wilkesboro. Adam Newbert picking up his first win of the season, snapping, I believe, Brett Tucker's win streak. What are your thoughts on that?
That was very interesting. Last week, what we saw, we thought Red Tucker or Blake Lothian was going to win that race, but they were racing really hard and they hit each other, and that is what led the four car of Newbert to win last race at North Wilkesboro. And now we are at the paperclip, so it's going to get even more interesting tonight.
Absolutely. So we talked about Blake Lothian there just for a second. He's qualified quick time today. He's going to automatically transfer, start on the pole for the feature. And Robert Richards as well will transfer, it looks like, to the feature. So we got the paperclip today. New Smyrna. Everybody was talking about how their tires were just starting to get really shaky towards the end. What do you think this week's going to be like? Another short track? How much is tire wear going to be an issue for these guys?
Fireworks going to be even more of an issue here because it's a shorter track, and you can't be overshooting the turns here. If you're running way too hard into the turns, it is going to wear down your tires, and you are going to be in a bad shape for this race.
Absolutely. Everybody has their break points figured out, can get a nice, solid, smooth rhythm going, so we can get this 100 lap feature in without too many cautions, without any problems like we had at New Smyrna. Hopefully, it's a different story tonight. We're getting gridded up for Heat 1, it looks like right now. And we will be racing here very, very shortly on the NASDAQ 360 network. So, row 1, we got Kerry Tribune on the inside. Outside of him, Stephen Thomas, 23.
Row 2, we're going to have Rhett Tucker, which was going to be our winner last weekend, North Wilkesboro, but was the 4 of Adam Newbert getting the win there, breaking his streak.
Row 3 on the inside, we got Steve Barnett in the 42, Nathan Rogue on the outside of him in the 91.
Row 4, we're going to have the 39 of Dane Hagan and the 5 car of Eric Thompson.
Row 5 on the inside, we got the 24 of Scott Griffin. Outside of him, the 69 of Tim Hammond.
Row 6, we're going to have the 01 of TJ Moore and the 17 of Brandon Bullock. And that's going to wrap up our field here for Heat 1. As you see the pace car and the drivers on the track right now, getting ready to set the green flag here at Martinsville. Cody, it's Martinsville. Anything can happen. We can see bumping and running the whole Heat race. So, do you want to get this lead and stay in the lead because these laps are going to be winding down, or do you want to stay in the back of the pack and see what happens here?
Oh no, you definitely want to push, get to the front, try to stretch out that lead as much as you can. Hopefully cautions don't play too big of an issue. This is one of those tracks that could be easy to just run away from the field. We might see a couple guys try to get out, stretch that lead out, and then we'll see if lap traffic plays a big issue. We'll see how that works out for these guys. I have a feeling that we're going to have a couple of fast guys dealing with lap traffic. About if we can stay green, I would say probably around maybe the 30 to 40 lap mark. If we can get that consecutive amount of green flag laps in, then we're going to be in for quite a treat today.
We sure are. As you see, the pace car hits pit road. Actually, not pit road. My bad, y'all. We are going to go an extra pace lap here as they are doubling up.
It looks like the pace lights are out, so we will go green this next time by.
You see 23 and 7 making up row 1. 99 Rhett Tucker, very strong here this season, but he lost that race win last week, breaking his streak. Could he possibly get a Heat win here tonight at Martinsville?
Stephen Thomas will lead the field off as they will take the green flag coming out of corner number 4.
Green flag, green flag.
And we are racing at Martinsville, 8 laps the distance for heat race number 1, the only heat race for tonight. Stephen Thomas off to a strong start, takes the early race lead, but Rhett Tucker following him right on the bumper. 3rd to 2nd already for Rhett Tucker, trying to hunt down a heat race win here. And we're clean through 1 lap. Stephen Thomas still your race leader. Rhett Tucker in 2nd. Kerry Tribune in 3rd at the moment. Rhett Tucker all over the back of Stephen Thomas, takes a look to the inside, and we'll just duck down behind him as we come out of corner 4. 6 laps to go in heat race number 1 here. Stephen Thomas still your race leader as he leads the field down into 1. Rhett Tucker still in 2nd, right on his bumper though. Ready for him to make 1 mistake, and it's going to be Rhett Tucker's race.
Rhett Tucker is hunting down that 23 right now. He's all over the back bumper here with 5 laps to go. What? Not even a minute in, and we're already almost done here with this first heat here. As you see Rhett Tucker going after the 23 right there. He's going to try to get around him on the inside. Here we go. 99 is going to try to get on the inside. Not going to work. 23 still in the lead coming out of turn 4.
Looked like Stephen Thomas might have thrown a little bit of a block down the backstretch. He knows Rhett Tucker is coming, and he's got his hands full. Rhett Tucker taking a look to the inside. Stephen Thomas washing up. Rhett Tucker's going to try to pull neck and neck with him at his door.
It's
gets into him, a little bit of contact, pushes Stephen Thomas up the track, and he's going to lose a couple more positions off of that battle.
And I bet Stephen Thomas was not happy with that right there. Now, is this what we're going to be seeing throughout the race? I hope so, because this is getting very interesting here. As you see the 99 Rhett Tucker in 1st place. 2nd place is the 7 car. Coming out of turn 4, we have 2 laps to go here in heat 1, and this looks like it's going to be Rhett Tucker's heat race.
Rhett Tucker leading your field now, coming out of 2. Robert Richards in 2nd. Kerry Tribune 3rd. Will they have enough time to catch Rhett Tucker, as Rhett Tucker just going to run away from him with 2 laps to go? He's still looking very, very strong. Stephen Thomas has now fallen back to 4th. Adam Newbert up to 3rd. He won your feature race last week at North Wilkesboro. As Rhett Tucker comes out of turn number 4, he will take the white flag last lap in heat race number 1. And this will decide majority of the field for the feature today. Ooh, Stephen Thomas letting Rhett Tucker know he wasn't happy about that.
And that's going to conclude heat 1. As you see our unofficial race results right there. Rhett Tucker to 99 left off where he began in the first 2 races here. Starting P1, as you see right there. In 2nd place is Stephen Thomas. As we are getting ready for our main event here. See the pace car on track. Drivers are loading in. Getting ready to go here. Row 1, we have Blake Lothian and the O2 of Robert Richards.
Row 2 on the inside, Rhett Tucker in the 99 and Stephen Thomas on the outside in the 23.
Row 3, we have the 4 of Adam Newbert, our race winner last weekend at North Wilkesboro, alongside 91 of Nathan Road.
Row number 4 on the inside in the 17, it's Brandon Bullock and Tim Hammond on the outside in the 69.
Row 5, we have the 24 Scott Griffin and the 5 car of Eric.
Row 6 on the inside, the 39 Dane Hagan, and on the outside of him will be Kerry Tribune in the 12.
Row 7, we have the 42 of Stephen Burnett and the 01 of TJ Moores.
So we are set to go for our 100th lap feature event here at Martinsville. If that heat race was any indication as to what we might see in this race, you're not going to have very many mistakes, and somebody's going to be right there at your door, and they're not afraid to push you out of the way a little bit if you try to come down and block them.
For sure. Now, what we saw in the heat race, we saw Stephen Thomas not happy with the 99 Rhett Tucker. Now, is Stephen Thomas going to retaliate with the 99 in the main event? We just got to wait and see how it goes, because Stephen Thomas is literally right there next to the 99. As you see, the pace car lights are out coming into turn 1. We are double filed, getting ready to go here as you see Blake Lothian on the front row there.
So will we see a duel between Blake Lothian and Rhett Tucker again after their unfortunate event last weekend that both ended their weeks? I'm sure they're going to be looking for a better result today at Martinsville, hopefully a little bit cleaner racing. Pace car is in, and Blake Lothian will lead the field down to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
And we are racing at Martinsville. Blake Lothian with a good start. Robert Richards still with a strong start as well on the outside. They're still double file all the way through 2. And Robert Richards and Blake Lothian still neck and neck, door and door as we go into 3. Coming out of 4, Blake Lothian starting to pull away. Rhett Tucker right there to get around Robert Richards as they head into 1. Robert Richards ducks down to the inside, try to take that shorter inside line.
And it looks like we may have a car spin there in turn 2. As you see the 59 Blake Lothian and Rhett Tucker. Second place. These guys got into each other last weekend at North Wilkesboro. Let's see what they can do here at Martinsville. Don't count out that third place car of Stephen Thomas.
We stay green. Blake Lothian, still your race leader, but Rhett Tucker trying to reel him in. As they come out of 4, we are clean through 4 laps. Happy to hear about that after that New Smyrna race. Glad to see a little bit more green flag action here.
As you see the 99 Rhett Tucker now closing in on the 59 Blake Lothian. Let's see what he's going to do here.
Blake Lothian looking strong, using that real-life NASCAR experience tonight at the tricky corners of Martinsville, but Rhett Tucker not letting him get a very big lead at all. And the question will be, will lap traffic start to play an issue? Stephen Thomas, though, is starting to work himself into the picture. He's hunting down Rhett Tucker, and he's probably got a little bit of revenge on his mind right now as he's looking at the bumper of Rhett Tucker.
Look at this, the top 3, they all had incidents here before, and it could happen again. As you see, 59 Blake Lothian still in the lead. Rhett Tucker closing in once again on his bumper. Let's see if Rhett Tucker makes a move here going into turn 3. No, he's going to stay right behind him as 99 is peeking around. 99 might have a run here coming down the front straightaway. We'll see. As you see, the 23 is Stephen Thomas also closing in.
Rhett Tucker staying patient, but at the same time, he's got to know that Stephen Thomas is right there in his rear view. And he's got to know that if he doesn't start pushing, then he's going to have a whole lot of problems maybe to deal with in Stephen Thomas, as he's all but caught up to the bumper of Rhett Tucker, who's stayed glued so far to your race leader, Blake Lothian. Blake Lothian.
I don't think anything's going to change just yet. We're only going on lap 10 here, with 90 laps to go here in Martinsville. Cody, it's been an interesting start, interesting heat. What are we expecting throughout when we get halfway here?
Well, we still got a little bit of race to go, but nobody is getting too impatient at the moment. They know that they still have a lot of race left to go. And look, if Rhett Tucker started to take a look to the inside, Blake Lothian quickly throwing the block on him. Stephen Thomas right there just waiting for one of them to make a mistake.
And as you saw right there, with Rhett Tucker making that little mistake, you saw how much ground 23 Stephen Thomas got. And that's all it takes here at Martinsville. If you make one mistake, that could cost your race there.
Well,
as you see, 23 still closing in on a 99 Rhett Tucker.
At the same time, you don't want to get too close to him in case there is contact and they do decide to spin out, you don't want to be collateral damage in it. You just want to let those two bad let out. Maybe that's not such a bad place for Stephen Thomas to be sitting right now. And they hold
It is a very good
advantage over the
spot.
next car in fourth place, Tim Hammond.
It's a very good spot to hang out right now, Stephen Thomas. If I was me, I would just sit there and watch the two drivers in front of them, because once it comes down to the final laps, I have a feeling they might wreck.
We get a look at our fourth place runner right now, Tim Hammond, in a battle with Nathan Rogue and Brandon Bullock right behind him. Right behind Brandon is last week's winner, Adam Newbert. And Kerry Tribune also in that mix, a little four-car battle for fourth place. That could be anybody's race. It's kind of interesting to see at this point in time where everybody's kind of spacing out a little bit, and you've got these packs of cars that are fighting for position right now. Very interesting to see.
It is very interesting to see there. As you see, whoa, 5-car there. It looks like the 5-car and the 24 there made a little contact there, trading paints there. As you see, the 5 might retaliate there. Further back is the 39 car. Nothing changing there. As we go back up to our lead, you see the 59 of Blake Lothian still taking the lead away from the 99 of Rhett Tucker. Nothing changing here. Looks like Stephen Thomas may have fell back a little bit. Nothing to worry about there.
Stephen Thomas might have saw those two battling and saw where maybe they might have some contact later on, and he's deciding that he wants to hang back just a little bit. It's got quite a bit of a gap over your fourth place runner, Tim Hammond. Actually, it's Nathan Rowe passes Tim Hammond for fourth place. We'll keep the camera on the battle up front. Rhett Tucker still glued to the back of the bumper of Blake Lothian as they head into turn 3. Coming out of 4. Rhett Tucker taking a look to the inside. Doesn't quite have the run for it. Blake Lothian still your race leader after 18 laps.
And don't forget, the 99 Rhett Tucker could be just sitting there like a sitting duck right now, just waiting to get all over him and try and make that move on the final lap.
It could be. You could be waiting a very, very long time for somebody to make a mistake at this track, especially if we stay green. Everybody can just kind of get into a nice little rhythm and just keep things going and flowing like they are right now. As we take a look at your battle for fourth place, Nathan Rogue and Adam Newbert going at it. Right behind them, the 17 of Brandon Bullock. Kerry Tribune not too far behind them as well, trying to get in on the action. Blake Lothian still your race leader with Rhett Tucker not too far behind him. Maybe a little bit of a gap starting to show there. But I don't feel like Blake Lothian's going to get too far away from Rhett Tucker in this one. Rhett might just be hanging back a little bit, letting the tires cool down and working a little bit of a run or something here. Rhett Tucker's probably got something up his sleeve for sure this week, knowing that he had a battle with Blake Lothian. As the caution flag is out, our first caution of the race, 22 laps in.
See what happened here once we get our replay here. As Blake Lothian is still scored our first place. Here's our replay. Our Pultz Poppers instant replay here. You see the 4 Newbert and a 91 there. See Newbert's going to go to the inside. Yep, sent it in a little too deep. 91 goes around. And Newbert lost a few positions there. That is the one thing you don't want to do here at Martinsville, sending in too deep in the corners. So, Cody, now that we're on lap 22, there's a caution. What do you think these drivers are going to do? You think they're going to pit, not pit, take tires, not take tires, only do some fuel?
I don't see anybody doing anything really crazy right now. It's still a little early. You got to stop to think you're only 1/8 of the way through this race. There's still a lot of race left to go. So I don't see anybody doing anything too drastic to give up any kind of position right now. It's pretty easy to see. I mean, somebody's got to figure out something for those top 3 drivers right now between Blake Lothian, Rhett Tucker, and Stephen Thomas, because if nobody figures something out, they're just going to run away with this.
They sure are the 2 best drivers in the late model series so far. But look who's in second place right now. It is the 23. No, my bad. Maybe it's not the 23. Right now it's scoring the 99 Rhett Tucker, but I don't see him on the racetrack. That's interesting, but you see 23 Stephen Thomas there and the 4 of Newbert.
Perhaps Rhett Tucker maybe thinking something that we're not. Maybe he stepped down pit road. Maybe there's just something going on with the car that we couldn't see or didn't know about, that he just, maybe a little adjustment he needs to make, or something that he knows that is going to get him back up to the front quickly. I don't doubt that one little bit. But he knows.
As you see right there on the top left of your screen on the scoreboard, that is how many times the drivers have pitted so far in this race. As you see, the pace car working its way down the front stretch with the pace lights now off, which means we are about to get ready to go racing here again at Martinsville with Blake Lothian on the inside and the 23 of Stephen Thomas on the outside. As you see in row 2, we have the 4 of Newbert and the 67 of Harmon. Let's see who can get a good restart here at Martinsville, Cody.
Absolutely. Pace car dives down to the infield. Blake Lothian leading the field out of corner number 4, and we are green flag racing again at Martinsville. Blake Lothian with a strong restart. Stephen Thomas not too far behind him, still glued to the bumper as he dives down to the inside. Adam Newbert sitting right now comfortably in 3rd as we head down into corner number 3. Blake Lothian still your race leader, but Stephen Thomas right behind him. And Adam Newbert, last week's winner, looking to double up on wins. Can he get it done here today at Martinsville?
You never know. It's the paperclip. Anything can happen here. But it looks like there's a stack up out turn 2. It might be a caution. We'll find out. Caution is out on lap 24. Once we get our Pultz Poppers replay. It looks like one of the drivers back there got a little loose. Let's see who it was.
You know what they say, cautions breed cautions, as we take a look at the Pultz Poppers replay.
As you see the 39. Looks like it's going to happen right in front of him. Looks like the car in front just gets too far up in the track and just stacks up the field from there. 7's involved. Looked like the 91 was also involved there.
Yeah,
39 just went through it.
Involved in that as well.
Battling side by side there with Rhett Tucker. Yeah, it looks like he just got loose right there. Just entered the corner too fast. Just washed up the track, and that's what caused a chain reaction. As you see, the 67 of the Nerds on pit road. Race leader still Blake Lothian. But look at Rhett Tucker. He made it all the way up to the top 5, and it's been interesting to watch him come up through this field ever since he pitted. Let's see what he can do to see if he can catch Blake tonight.
No, it did not take Rhett Tucker very long to slice and dice his way through this field. He's making it look easy out there today, but he's got his hands full when he gets to the front with Blake Lothian and Thomas as well in the 23. But Adam Newbert, he was hanging out up there with them off that restart. He might also have something for him. Could we see a 4-car battle coming up here? Do we go back to green flag racing here soon, shortly after this caution? And you know what they say, cautions breed cautions. So I had a feeling after that first caution that we were probably going to see another caution. I wasn't thinking that it was going to happen as early as it did, but it just happens. It happens like that. I just shouldn't have even thought about it. Maybe if I didn't think about it, it wouldn't have happened.
there will probably be more cautions. We already have 2 cautions, both for incidents here tonight in Martinsville. Blake Lothian, your leader. 2nd place, Stephen Thompson. 3rd place is Adam Newbert. And look who's right behind him. Another driver, but we haven't really talked about him. It's the 5 car of Eric Thornton. Right behind him is the 99 of Rhett Tucker. Eric Thornton's fastest lap was a 22nd, but Rhett Tucker is 1 second faster. As you see, right behind him, Robert Richards.
Robert Richards started way up towards the front, fell back early, and is now trying to work himself back through this field. What he needs to do is he just needs to get glued to the bumper of Rhett Tucker and just follow Rhett to the front. That'd be my game plan for Robert going forward. His pace lights are out. Pace car will go to the infield. Blake Lothian will lead the field into 3. And coming out of 4, he will take the green flag. And we are back to racing. Blake Lothian, strong restart. Stephen Thomas working that outside. He will dive down to the inside and block off Adam Newbert from making any advances. But look at Rhett Tucker already up to 4th. And on the back bumper of Adam Newbert, as Stephen Thomas is all over the bumper of Blake Lothian.
Blake Lothian still has the lead, but look at Stephen Thomas having a nice corner X there. Gets a little loose coming out of turn 2, but keeps it straight. That's going to allow Adam Newbert to close in a little more, but Stephen Thomas is still on the back bumper of the 59. And look at Rhett Tucker. He's also in the top 5, making his way up to get back to his enemy there, Blake Lothian.
Blake Lothian keeping it smooth as we go down the back stretch. 27 laps in the books. Stephen Thomas hanging out in 2nd. Adam Newbert in 3rd. Rhett Tucker in 4th. As these 4 are starting to put a separation between them and the rest of the fields. Robert Richards at 5th. He's almost a second behind Rhett Tucker. Blake Lothian still keeping it strong, though. Leading every single lap so far. Been a dominating performance up to this point for Blake Lothian. Definitely putting that NASCAR experience to work tonight at the tricky corners of Martinsville.
No lead change here tonight so far, folks. Top 5 all stay the same so far. Going on lap 30. This race is going really quick here. We're only like probably 10-15 minutes into this race. We're only on lap 30. So, if we have a long green flag run, Cody, what lap do you expect these drivers to start coming down?
I don't know if they would actually need to. If they can manage the tires pretty well tonight, 100 laps, it's going to go by fast here at Martinsville. It's not a very long track. It is, however, producing some of the best racing that we've had so far in the series. Blake Lothian starting to put a gap between him and Stephen Thomas. But Adam Newbert and Rhett Tucker all over the bumper of Stephen Thomas. Just waiting for him to make a mistake so that they could try to take that line away from him. We saw earlier Stephen Thomas in the heat race making a mistake, washing up the track a little bit, and Rhett Tucker taking advantage of that real estate and going for it so that he could have that extra position just to start tonight's feature. How aggressive do you think he's going to be in the feature when that time comes and that opportunity presents itself?
As you see,
doing his best to try to reel in Blake Lothian and put a little bit of a gap between him and Adam Newbert. He knows Rhett Tucker's behind him, and Adam's going to have his hands full with Rhett. But Robert Richards also stepping up to join the party. He wants in on this. Try to make this a 5-car battle for first place. If they can just put a little bit of time, reel in Blake Lothian just a little bit. Stephen Thomas faster than your leader that last lap.
As you just seen there, the 23 of Stephen Thomas once again making his way up to Blake Lothian's rear there. And joining us, it looks like it is Wesley Outland. How are you doing today?
Just come in from doing a baseball game, probably one of the fastest baseball radio broadcasts I've ever done in my life. And yeah, man, we're here at Martinsville, and I was actually scheduled to be off, but it worked out for me to pop in here, and we're on lap number 37 of 100. You know, Martinsville's just one of those unique racetracks. Obviously, we're seeing Blake Lothian jump up in front. He's trying to go down for an opportunity to redeem himself after what happened between him and Rhett Tucker last week, obviously. And he's got a really, really strong race car. Stephen Thomas right there behind him. Adam Newbert as well. Top three, all with Swim. And I'll tell you what, Cody, man, Swim and Sick with It, they are really, really doing well right now in the season opener.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're looking very, very strong in this race today. Rhett Tucker's went into the pits early on that caution. We'll see how that's going to play out if we get all of these green flag laps in. Maybe he had a little bit of strategy there, whereas Blake Lothian hasn't come down pit road at all today.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out for him.
I tell you, my biggest thing that I got to say is where are the cars? I mean, obviously, I know there's a lot more cars tonight than what we've had in the past. I'll take a dozen. That's good. But, I mean, I just see the car counts dropping, whether it's the Sunday series or what we're doing here with this Pultz Popper late model stock car series. And I just, you know, I want everybody to know that the powers that be at NASCAR, they're going to stick with it. But, you know, Daniel, you've done a couple of these races with me this year, and we just haven't had that 20, 30 car fields that I feel we should get for sure.
For sure, I totally agree with you. We've seen these races, and we've been getting a dozen of cars out on track. But I feel like if we had more drivers join us, like 20 to 25, that would be more entertaining, you know? This is a new series too. This is the late model stocks. This is a new series for NASRA and other drivers. So we know it's a new series. It takes time to grow, but like you mentioned, the Sunday series, we're also starting to see drivers not appear, which is kind of
sad.
concerning.
It really is. It's sad. I mean, it just seemed like that all the work that Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott and everybody's doing to have the opportunity to run these different Cody Bodie NASRA sanctioning bodies, different classes. You know, listen, I know it's the Triple M Pulling Truck Series, NASRA's home. I know it's their bread and butter. I know that's where they come from. Maybe Sim Racer Hub a distant second. But they're coming up with all these ideas, and I listen, not taking anything away what Blake Lothian, Stephen Thomas, Rhett Tucker, all the guys that are running are doing. But it's just, man, we got to get out there. We got to promote. We've got to advertise. We need these drivers to share these broadcasts. We need to start promoting these races a day or two, Cody, before we drop the green rag. That's the only way I think we're going to build this program up.
And one thing I want to add in there, Wes, is I feel like if we get these broadcasts out, we can try to invite more leagues into our network and maybe like start broadcasting a cup series that might want to join our network. You know, I feel like we need to get out there more and try to look at different series. You know, we have IndyCar series in iRacing. We have IMSA, we have Endurance, we have a lot of different models and series that we can broadcast, but I feel like we need to start getting out there and start asking these series if we can start broadcasting them and come with a TV contract.
Well, I'll tell you this much. We're getting ready to come up on halfway. And again, you know, I don't think I've ever worked with Cody Bodie before, but I will tell you, I agree with his same sentiments. Daniel Paulus, I know we've worked with each other on a couple of occasions. I know that I'll be back with you guys next Tuesday night regularly. And I will tell you this, get out and promote the hell out of this one. That is the NASRA late model all-star race for the Pultz Poppers late models. That is a guarantee, Daniel Paulus, $200 to the winners. We're halfway here in this Martinsville 100-lapper. $200 to the winner. You are going to want to show up for this race. I'm telling you, I hope we do get a lot of big car counts for that show. If not, then I think they've got to make some changes. I don't want to say that in a negative way, but if they don't get the support that they need for $200 to win guaranteed in an all-star race at Nashville, they got to make some changes.
I might need to trade my broadcast suit in for a fire suit that night.
That's a good way to go and get your money back.
Well, right now, you know, maybe you guys could just jump in the race car and be a couple of driver analysts. Maybe pay half price and put you in there for the broadcast and race. So right now, Blake Lothian, the man up in front, he is doing a phenomenal job of the number 59 for Swim Motorsports. The driver out of Wellesley, Massachusetts. I had butchered his name, Daniel, or his hometown, as bad as I could, but it's Wellesley. It's not Wesley like my name. It's Wellesley, Massachusetts, and he is the man that's right now leading the way. He's got his teammate, Stephen Roberts, right there behind him. And I'll tell you what, Cody Bodie, when you're driving Martinsville, we've seen some races for this Pultz Poppers Nashville Late Model Stock Car Series that are in the day. You are running at night. You're already starting at night. That's good for the tires, obviously.
Absolutely. The track is going to stay a lot cooler. It's going to allow these tires to not wear as much. There should be decent grip, especially when we get these long green flag runs like we're seeing right now.
As you see right there, the 23 Stephen Thomas pulling away from third place of Rhett Tucker there. Rhett Tucker could be in the victory zone here if these two start wrestling up some feathers here and could wreck for the win here. So Rhett Tucker's in a comfortable position right now as you see Stephen Thomas closing in on your leader right now.
Yeah, I think Stephen Thomas was listening to me earlier when I said just stick to the bumper of Rhett Tucker and follow him to the front, because that's exactly what he's doing right now. Rhett Tucker trying to reel in Stephen Thomas and Blake Lothian.
You can see where the rubber is being laid down now as you see them going into turn 1 here on lap 58. Wesley, let's get a recap on how North Wilkesboro went last week and see if any viewers missed it.
North Wilkesboro was fun, Daniel, and me and you got to call some pretty cool racing, man. Obviously, they really did what they could to promote it. And I laugh thinking about it now, plus because of something else. Rhett Tucker and Blake Lothian, they crashed each other after almost 10 laps racing side by side. And I got a feeling, Cody, we might see deja vu here. Take 2 between Blake Lothian and Stephen Thomas, and these are teammates. But, man, hands down, Daniel, back to what we were saying. Those guys went at it tooth and fist and nail, back and forth. Hand over fist, tooth and nail. And look at this. Lothian's coming to the pits, and he's going to easily give the lead to Stephen Thomas.
I don't know if that was a scheduled stop or not. As you see, lap 61. Is he going to get new tires? If so, let's see how that performs here. But I don't know how this is going to end for him now that he pitted. As you see, Stephen Thomas, is he going to pit anytime soon now that he saw his teammate pit? But Stephen Thomas is taking the lead here. Rhett Tucker sitting comfortably in second.
No, but Daniel, back to what we were saying, though, with the race last week, man, it was very exciting. And listen, I think it was highly entertaining. It was really great racing. That was 2 drivers going at it, doing all they could to be there at the end, and there was the outcome that we had.
For sure. It was a very exciting race. And I want to see more of those races, you know. As you see, Stephen Thomas now hits pit road in that 23 Chevy. That's going to make your leader the 99 Rhett Tucker. As you see, the 02 will be in second place now, chasing down that leader of 99, which is going to be really hard.
Now, guys, if you remember, Rhett Tucker pitted earlier with one of the cautions that we had early in this race. and that took place about 20 or so laps in. Do you think he's going to be pushing the envelope here, trying to make it to the end of this race without making a stop?
Well, I mean, that's going to be up in the air right now. I don't know how he's going to handle it. I mean, it is a positive right now because our drivers are going to have to pit, it looks like, and he can stay out for a few more. But I don't know if he's going to make it to the end. We're just going to have to wait and see if he can stretch it out here.
Well, it's Cody Bodie in the house. Daniel Paulus. I'm Wesley Outlet here with you. We're ready to bring this one to the finish. Cody Knott, our director. Round number 5 tonight of the NASCAR Triple M. Here we go again. The NASCAR Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car E-Series on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. And obviously, we got green flag pit stops going on now. We got drivers that are coming in. They're pitting. And I'll tell you what, Cody, Rhett Tucker, you know he wants to get some redemption, especially after the bad luck he had at North Wilkesboro last week.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he's hungry, looking for a win. Really unfortunate event that happened last week. It's never how you want to end a race. You know, that's a long week to think about it. You got a long week to just think about what happened and how you could redeem yourself in this race. And maybe he had some smart thinking earlier. I'm thinking that he did have some smart thinking earlier with pitting with the cautions to avoid taking laps down, because I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. I'm looking at the live timing. Blake Lothi and Stephen Thomas both 2 laps down right now. So that's a lot of ground that they're going to have to make up to get that lead back.
Well, guys, I know I popped in here around lap number 30. We're right now at lap number 70 of 100. Has there been any caution flags? Have we had a caution? I don't think we've seen a caution flag in this race.
We
have 2 cautions.
There we go. 2 cautions. One of them did involve the Nerd's car, which was the 67. He did wash up the track there in turn 2, got into the wall, which caused a chain reaction for the rest of the pack behind him to just stack up. As you see the 23 there, Stephen Thomas getting really deep into the corner there, trying to get around the 99 of Rhett Tucker here. But he is holding up the 02 right behind him, so that's going to extend 99's lead here.
There you go. All right, well, all that's going on and transpiring. Right now we are closing in on what will be 3/4 of the race in the books, the final 25 laps or so. And again, Cody, we're watching, looking, seeing Daniel, obviously watching Rhett Tucker work around here. Everything's changed up. Richards is now in 2nd, Bullock 3rd, Rogg in 4th. You got Thomas now 7th. That's what's going on the racetrack, and they're a couple of laps down. Rhett Tucker, can he go the distance, or is he going to have to pit? And they know that.
That is going to be interesting to see. I'm not exactly 100% sure on the fuel map of these cars, so I don't know exactly how many laps they can go on, however, a full tank of fuel, I suppose. Maybe that's what Rhett Tucker threw in it, maybe he threw the kitchen sink in it just to get it to the end of this race. Who knows? But a lot of that also has to depend on how hard are you willing to run the car. And right now, Stephen Thomas making him work for it, maybe trying to force him to go into the pits so that he can get his laps back, or one way or the other. He's at least going to try to take one right here.
Right now, I believe, is all of the timing and scoring is updating. It's Rhett Tucker, the leader, Richard 2nd, Bullock 3rd, Hagan is 4th, and Rogue right now the top 5 as we are approaching the final 25 laps. By the way, just got confirmation from producer, director, and of course promoter of the series for the Pultz Poppers late model stocks, and he says that $200 all-star race money is guaranteed. The money is guaranteed for $200 to win. So to do that, Daniel Paulus and Cody Bodie, go out there and promote it. We got to promote these races. That's the only way anything's going to grow. You got to promote them for sure. And if you do that, then I'd love to see 30, 40, 50, 60 cars. Hands down.
I would love to see that too. And I do agree with you. We need to start advertising on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever we are on social media. We need to start getting, like, that clip that you mentioned last week in North Wilkesboro. That would be a great advertising clip.
Oh, sure. Hands down for sure, man. And right now, trying to redeem himself after being a part of the highlight reel last week. Rhett Tucker from Memphis, Tennessee for RTR Esports right back in front again, leading the way as the laps are also coming to an end. Cody Bodie, we got 20 laps to go, man. This is it. Pretty quiet race since the first couple of cautions to start things.
Absolutely, and I was really afraid, cautions breed cautions, and we only got 2 of them, and so far it's been nothing but great green flag racing, and it's been mixed up a little bit with a couple of guys coming down pit road, throwing Rhett Tucker back out in front. He's tried to start his win streak back up again. He might be able to do so tonight.
All this going on as we're approaching the end of this race with Rhett Tucker now and Stephen Thomas. He again, lap traffic mixed in with the leaders as all of this is updating on the scoring ticker up top. And I think if you're a guy that's a lap down or more, you wanted to see a caution to get a lap back. And obviously, Rhett Tucker, I don't know if he pitted before I jumped on here, and I'm just kind of seeing if he's just trying to roll the dice or gamble here. But right now, he's the man that's up in front, watching all these drivers that are a lap down still try to battle him, and he's holding them off one by one here.
Absolutely. So behind Rhett Tucker, you're going to find Stephen Thomas, and then behind him is Robert Richards, and then behind Robert, you will find Blake Lothian. But Blake Lothian, Stephen Thomas, they're still 2 laps down.
But by the way, Cody, I apologize. I think I was calling you Cody Bodie. It's Cody Bodie. Am I correct?
Actually, you're still wrong again. It's actually Cody Bodie, but you're
Bodie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, damn
right?
you, Cody. Not you're wrong too.
It's like Bodie.
Third time's a charm. Cody Bodie. Cody Bodie is in the broadcast booth. There we go, man. So I won't make that mistake again. I promise you.
Oh, it's very interesting. It gets everybody. Don't worry about it at all.
Listen, I thought it was like Bodie. Like, you ever seen the movie with the what's it called? Oh my God, what's the name of the movie? It's got Keanu Reeves in it, and Point Break with Patrick Swayze. God rest his soul, but his name was Bodie. And he was the guy that was the surfer, the bank robber, whatever, the ex-president. His real name in the movie was Bodie. And I thought that's what your last name, Rose, was like Cody Bodie. So I was like, man, that's a cool name. So, but it's Cody Bodie. So I'll remember that from now on.
Very interesting. Gets everybody. It's always entertaining though that when everybody says Cody Bodie, like, oh, your name rhymes. It's perfect. We love it. Just keep it that way. It rolls off the tongue so much easier.
We are closing in on 11 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. He is Cody Bodie. And, of course, see, I did it again. Yeah, I did it again. Cody Bodie. He is Cody Bodie. I'm Daniel Paulus is alongside. I'm Wesley Outland. Cody Knott, who's trying to be articulate with pronunciation, still butchering it, is our producer-director. And we're closing in. There's your top 5 on the top left. And we're ready to bring this one to the final 10 laps of the race. Right now, Rhett Tucker trying to get back off the schneid after that bad luck at North Wilkesboro. Daniel Paulus last, of course, went Tuesday night, and he's trying to get back here and make a stand, if you will, and win here. What would that be like now? Another 3 wins, I think, for the driver of the 99?
He gets his 3rd one here tonight.
Yeah.
Which it looks like he is. There's nothing really to say. I think he needs to get promoted to a bigger series for sure.
Yeah, all this going on here again. Down the back straightaway, and everybody just kind of settling in for the finish of this race. All the while, right now, as it stands, it is the driver, Rhett Tucker, in front. Richards in second. Where's the 0-2 at? Is he even anywhere in the fight of Rhett Tucker? Yeah, well, I mean, he's in the cat's whisker, but he's not running. He's not, Cody, he's not gaining on Rhett Tucker. That's the problem.
No, he's not, and he's got a lot of ground to make up if he wants to have any shot at racing for the win in this one. Or just hoping that maybe something's going to happen right in front of your race leader just like that.
There's your caution.
There's There's the caution. That's going to mix things up a little bit.
There is the late race caution. Yellow flag for the third time, 6 to go. And this has just totally changed the entire scenario of the race. Look at this now. The 91 digging in there. The Fury race cars under the 5. There you see what happened here. And that's the end result. And this has now... I think we're going to get another look at it. I think we are. That's Thornton, by the way, the number 5 of Thornton. The 91 is, of course, I think we're going to check it out one more time. Are we on the replay? There you are, the 91 Rogue's car. Rogue in 5th, trying to get to the 5. There you see Daniel, just a little pump there in the left rear, and then Red Tucker kind of gave him an assist, and around they go.
That's all it takes here. That's all it takes. Just a little bump, and you're around.
That is typical Martinsville racing right there. When you're bumper to bumper like that, and I drive in that stuff every single day, bumper to bumper traffic.
Yes, bump and run.
It gets hairy, man, you know? So, Rhett Tucker, that definitely was not what he wanted to see, though, especially happening right in front of him. That's got to be some scary stuff.
Well, welcome to Road Rage with Cody Bodie. I did. I got it perfect that time, Cody. I did. Pardon the pun.
Absolutely.
Where are you from, brother?
I'm from Ohio, Lima, Ohio.
Hey, man, I'll be up in your neck of the woods in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, where at?
So you're from Lima, Ohio. So you're near Limaland Speedway, right?
Yep.
Okay, so obviously I've been there. I've been to Orville, Wayne County Speedway, and I'll be there in a few weeks, obviously. But man, I'm doing the month of May. Bloomington, Indiana. Paragon, Indianapolis, I'll be around there coming up in a few weeks, man. Month of May is here again, getting ready for the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500.
Oh, yeah, that'd be really interesting and experience. I go to a lot of the dirt tracks around here, so Limaland especially I've been to once. I don't know if I'll say I'd go back, but there are plenty of other tracks around here that I'd love to go back to. Attica, I just went to a couple weeks ago. I actually took my 5-month-old son to a dirt track for the first time. It was a great experience there. They were kind enough to even warm up a bottle for us because I left the water bottles out in the car and I wasn't going all the way out to the car to get it. So I bought some water and it was cold already. So they were nice enough to warm it up for us so we could feed our son. And,
what'd you say? You have a 5-month-old, 6-month-old?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, man, my son is 16, to be young again.
Yes, and
every time I feel old, right? He is my only child. He is. She had him, but I mean, I helped, right? I mean,
you just got to be there, right? You were the one that was there all the time.
Listen, the men are an important piece of making it all come to puzzle. Okay, we're gonna go back for the restart. We're gonna come to 5 laps to go for the NASRA Pultz Popper Late Model Stock Car Series presented by the NASRA 360 Racing Network, and the green flag about to come back out for the final 5 laps here in the SimRacerHub.com 100. I'll tell you what, Daniel, Red Tucker, here was an opportunity for everybody to run him down, clear a path, and they're not able to do it.
No, that's going to do it. You just need to get a good restart. But, I mean, this is how it's going to shape out. This is how it's going to be. It looks like Red Tucker is going to probably get his 3rd win here with 4 laps to go coming into turn 3. In 2nd place is the O2. Well-deserved P2 here tonight. It's been very strong here at Martinsville all night tonight. He deserves a P2 finish and a podium finish here tonight. And in the P3, it looks like we have, if I can see that number.
That's Brandon Bullock.
Brandon Bullock.
Yeah, those are your top 3 right now. Tucker, Richard, and Bullock. That's the way it stands. Is they're going to come to the line. It'll be 2 laps to go. The final couple of laps. And obviously, if you remember what happened to Rhett Tucker last week at North Wilkesboro, him and Blake Lothian getting together, there was an opportunity for a bounty to be put on if he was going to win for this race at Martinsville. That's not the case. Of course, Adam Newbert was able to pick up the win. But I'll tell you what, though, Daniel Bodie, I told you I'd get it right. They're coming to the white flag. One more lap to go. Call the final lap here in round 5 for the series.
All right, with 1 lap to go here, you see 99, Rhett Tucker set sailing away. Didn't have a great week. He is back for redemption, and he is going to take that clock home. Rhett Tucker wins at Martinsville.
Well, there you go. It is going to be the driver of the 99 out of Memphis, Tennessee for RTR Esports, Rhett Tucker, to win again. His third win this year, actually. Third win this year. In addition to that, a way to redeem himself, especially after some bad luck last week at North Wilkesboro when it's all said and done. So, again, round number 4 in the books. Third win now for the driver of the number 99 of Rhett Tucker, RTR Esports. They'll celebrate again. South Boston Speedway coming up next week. Cody, that's going to be some short track racing right there at Sobo next Tuesday night. That'll be a fun race.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a great race. You guys got to make sure you come out for that race. Going to be another short track. You know what? After New Smyrna, I wasn't really sold on this series with short tracks, but tonight's race completely turned it around. Rhett Tucker rolling the dice, going in early with the cautions, and got a nice long green flag run to just run away with this race. Way to go, Rhett Tucker. Way to get it done, buddy. Nice racing today.
South Boston, Hickory, Stafford, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway All-Star Race again coming up. That's for the entire month of May. NASRA Racing on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to join us, man, get involved. Contact somebody at NASRA. They'll put you in the chat box. We'll make it happen. Here's the results. One more time before we pack them up and get out of here for post-race interviews for top 3. Rhett Tucker is the winner. Robert Richards will finish in the number 2 spot. Brandon Bullock 3rd. Dan Hagan 4th. All these other cars were mired back laps down or more. Eric Thornton, obviously Stephen Thomas had a shot there. Also Blake Lothian, what might have been Adam Newbert. That's Swim Motorsports 6, 7, and 8, no doubt. Scott Griffin, Nathan Rogue on the top 10, and the rest of the rundown, of course, we'll find Tim Hammond, Kerry Tribune, Steve Barnett. TJ Moore is race director. Director and promoter is, of course, again, Cody Knott, along with Cody Bodie, as well as Daniel Paulus Jr. I'm Wesley Outland. Coming up, we'll grab the top 3. Coming up, round 4. We'll preview round 5, South Boston, and take a quick break and grab our interviews with the podium. Rhett Tucker back in victory lane from worst to first. What a difference a week makes. Stay with us. This is the NASRA 360 Racing Network from virtual Martinsville and the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car E-Series. Hey, we're back here. Welcome back to coverage of the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Yes, the train trucks, they're real. The train tracks are real across the way from the backstretch of the campers here at the virtual Martinsville Speedway. And we are finished with round 4 of the new Pultz Poppers NASRA Late Model Stock E Series. We're going to grab third place, and to do that right now, my colleague Daniel Paulus Jr. is standing by with Brandon Bullock.
Thank you, Wesley. I am with Brandon Bullock right now. Brandon, it was an exciting race here at Martinsville. What were your expectations coming into this race, and what do you think you could have done to top it off to get that victory here tonight?
Well, I kind of expected tire wear to be a little worse than it was. It didn't seem to have the fall off that we have at some other tracks. So um, my strategy was a little off, but it did pay off at the end.
All right. And Brandon, I want to congratulate you on a top 3 finish here. And what are your expectations going into next Tuesday for the next upcoming race?
With this, it's just been to stay consistent and learn from some great drivers that are in this league, to continue working on my craft as well.
All right. Well, I want to congratulate you on a top 3 finish. I can't wait to see what you can do next week.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, so there's Brandon Bullock again, the number 17. He'll finish in the number 3 spot. Thank you, Daniel Paulus Jr. We'll get your closing thoughts here in a minute as we prepare for next week at Sobo. And right now, Cody Bodie is standing by with the second-placed runner-up of the race. The driver is, of course, Mr. Robbie Richards. He's standing by now.
Robbie, you got me?
Yes, sir.
So you started out front early, right? You fell back. What was it like driving up through this field tonight?
It was a challenge to an extent. I'm not sure what happened on, I think it was lap 2 or something. There's some contact made, and next thing I know, I'm around. Luckily, I didn't hit anything. Caution didn't come out, so I just threw it in reverse real quick and started making laps. And I noticed in the back that I wasn't gaining anything on Blake to stay on the lead lap, but I wasn't losing anything either. And I was still catching the field. So I knew I was going to probably need a caution, which may or may not happen. I mean, you can't count on them. So that was going to be the only way I could get caught back up to the leaders. I was catching the mid half of the pack, but I wasn't going to be able to catch leaders without a caution. So once the caution came out, I went down pit road, and Rhett came in there too. And we both went ahead. And I assumed that he topped off as well as much as he could. To get us as far as we did, and the other guys didn't, so it gave us an advantage there to be able to stay out as long as we could. And then just at the end, man, I didn't end up not taking enough fuel, and I ended up having to go back in. So I went ahead and threw the right side tires on, and there was just no tire fall off to be able to catch Rhett there towards the end, right there at the end with the 5 to go. I mean, y'all seen it with Steven couldn't get around Rhett, and he had 4 fresh tires. So there was just no tire fall off, so it made it very hard to get around anybody or catch anybody. And so we settled P2. Good job to Rhett, though. I mean, he executed well and got the win for it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, though. I mean, this series it's got a lot of potential. It's going to grow. But we just need the drivers. We need the drivers to show up, and that way we can get this thing rolling.
Absolutely. That's what I was actually getting ready to ask you for my second question. So, we got to promote this this race. So after this, hopefully you can promote your P2. Who you got to thank tonight?
I want to thank Millie's Restaurant Catering, that family handyman. Of course, if you might don't know, it's Steven company. So I give a huge shout out to him for coming on board. Roof Group, A's Lawn and Landscaping. You guys here doing the broadcast. I want to thank everybody on the team at Swim. Tough guys, man, the beat. Want to thank all the admins that put this thing on, and all, the guys that did show up. They could be running anywhere, and chose to come here and do some short track racing. So I want to thank them and everyone watching.
All right, Wesley, we'll send it back to you.
Well, there you go. There's the thoughts of Robbie Richards. Robbie, always great catching up with you as well. Again, second spotted. Again, that's Cody Bodie grabbing him in the second place for post-race. We're going to go to victory lane now. Rhett Tucker waiting to join us here for post-race interviews out of Memphis, Tennessee. Rhett Tucker, I wanted to get your thoughts last week after what happened at North Wilkesboro between you and Blake Lothian. But what a way to bounce back, redeem yourself. 4 races. 3 out of 4 wins ain't bad, man. And you dominated and took a gamble here at Martinsville. Congratulations.
Thank you, Wesley. Good to hear your voice again, brother.
Hey, thank you. It's always great to hear from you as well, but especially after the shenanigans that went on. It ain't about me, man. It's about you. How did you redeem yourself from last week?
I can't tell you how many times I watched that incident last week, and I can always point the finger, but I mean, I could have prevented it by just being more patient. It could have gone either way, honestly. That was that. Just hard racing, really. And tonight, I don't know. I by the grace of God, thank you, Eric Thornton, for having my back on that last caution, because they were about to send me to the back of the field for that last caution, and there ain't no way I was gonna be able to get back to the front. But really, I just benefited from that caution early on, and I kind of did a quick little calculation in my head and how much fuel to grab, so I threw that in the tank and knew I was going to be good to go. And even I ran my fastest lap of the race on lap 98. So tires were not an issue tonight.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was at all, man. The car looked really, really strong. And I'll tell you this, track very different than North Wilkesboro, but is it though? I mean, it's flat. You're kind of going uphill, downhill at North Wilkesboro, not here at Martinsville. But is there similarities and differences to kind of make you adapt to both tracks in the setup?
I definitely think there are more differences and similarities. Like, this place is so single grooved for these cars, low horsepower cars. For higher horsepower cars, you can almost diamond this track or run a lane off of the bottom and carry more momentum around the track. But here, you just want to keep your momentum up, and the only way you're going to do that is by getting on the curbs in the corners and up against the wall in the straightaway.
Well, Bud, I'll tell you what, final question. I'll let you segue this into thanking your sponsors, man. Are you thinking championship right now for this inaugural NASRA Pultz Boppers Late Model Stock E Series, or do you still feel like we've got a long way to go? Obviously, we're going to go to round 5, 10 rounds remaining of 15 if hopefully we get to the end of the finish line. But are you and the team thinking championship, making history with this deal, or are you just kind of riding, being patient, race in, race out?
100%, man. I'm here for the long haul. I just hope we can fill the grid, man. I know it's not helping, having questionable amounts of tires and questionable amount of fuel every week. So we really got to get our P's and Q's, in the right spots, and cross our I's and dot our T's or whatever.
Rhett, what do you think we can do? What do you think we can do driver wise to help it?
Honestly, if we had 3 more gallons of fuel, so we didn't have to pit for fuel, we could have ran the same amount of laps, and you saw my tires at the end. Tires weren't a problem. So 100 laps with enough fuel to make it, I mean, all we got to worry about is racing.
I got you. Well, I know that there's something in regards of the strategy of making it be what it is with the fuel. So, and I believe if I'm understanding correctly, actually, Rhett, that's the new iRacing set for the tank. iRacing set the tank for the fuel. So, I don't know. All I know is I've known you since 2020. I know that there's a whole bunch of other people in the names of esports and iRacing that are out there, and I wish we could find a way to get their butts out here for a Tuesday night with the NASRA late models.
Yeah, I try to promote it here and there, but I would push it a lot harder if I knew that we weren't gonna have silly problems like that. You know.
Gotcha, buddy. Well, listen, before I let you go, man, thank your sponsors. Like I said, get off the bad train from last week and get back to victory lane and put that in the caboose behind you after what happened at North Wilkesboro and winning here at Martinsville. And it's on to Sobo, another exciting 3/8 mile short track. And we'll see you next Tuesday, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That'll be fun. Love that place.
Sponsors.
Oh, sponsors. You guys for doing the broadcast. It's second to none, man. Pultz Poppers, Malware Bytes, FPCG, Viral Tech Computers, 213 Simware, Sim Racer Hub, and everybody for watching.
There you go. There's the thoughts again of our Rhett Tucker, the RTR Esports number 99 out of Memphis, Tennessee. 3 wins out of 4 events in the new NASRA. Of course, Pultz Poppers, late model stock E-Series presented by NASRA. Well, I bring our panel to the board here to close things out. As always, that is a wrap on the SimRacerHub.com 100. By the way, speaking of Sim Racer Hub, Season 2 of the Sim Racer Hub NASRA Truck Series fires up with the heats and duels at Daytona next Monday night. Daniel Paulus Jr., I'll leave you with this. Your final thoughts on everything before we wrap it up here today at Martinsville.
I thought it was another fantastic race tonight, and I can't wait to see what happens next week.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Cody Bodie, again, your take of this race, man. Enjoyed working with you. Hopefully we'll work with each other again, and I just want to see a lot more cars in closing, Cody.
Absolutely. I mean, Cody and Brady, I can't thank those guys enough. They put on one heck of a show here. Cody does a great job broadcasting and producing this thing. They put it all together. It just makes so much more sense that we have more people here competing in these races for as hard as these guys are working behind the scenes to put on a good platform for these guys. You know, I'm looking at these races now and I'm seeing these guys are starting to figure each other out. They're starting to understand how they're going to race each other. If they can just get, blend everything together. If we could just get to that point, this is going to be an unstoppable series. This is not going to be a series that you're going to want to skip over at all.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Make no bones about it. The powers that be of NASRA will get together. The board, the powers, they will make what changes need to be made for the benefit of helping everybody. And I will tell you this. What needs to be changed within reason, I think, will be done. Don't think that they're not listening to you. And we'll pack her up and get ready for South Boston. Do your part. If you're a fan out there, if you're one of the drivers, one of our broadcast crew, whoever it is, promote. I know I have a hectic, busy schedule. Hell, I wasn't even scheduled to be here tonight. But it worked out that I had a very fast baseball radio broadcast, and a 7-inning game in an hour and 30 minutes was absolutely unheard of. But with that being said, it worked out perfectly for me to come in and join everybody. So, again, on behalf of Cody Knott, Adam Flieger, some of the producers that make it happen for NASRA, and the promoter, also Cody Knott for the Pultz Popper Late Model Stock Series. The man that operates, president of NASRA, is Brady LaBeouf. For Daniel Paulus Jr., Cody Bodie, I'm Wesley Outland. Thanks for letting me drop in and join y'all all. Round 4 in the books at Martinsville at the Paperclip. It's on to Crazy Sobo, South Boston Speedway. Next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget about the NASRA podcast, and the playoffs for the trucks start this Friday for the Triple M Pulling Series. Follow us always at NASRA Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our official website. Good night from Martinsville. We'll see you next week for round 5 at Sobo.